In the description are my three films: The Trap, Case of Death, and The Man Who Died. If you enjoy them, pass them on to other people. Much appreciated. So, James Cameron's Piranha 2, The Spawning, or in some other countries it was called Flying Killers. Any good? No. I'm only messing. It actually is pretty good. I kind of liked it. There's a couple of things about this film that I really liked. I liked it way better than the Avatar movies. So it pretty much starts off where the piranhas have this kind of like layer in like this abandoned ship under the ocean in the Caribbean. And there's these two people right at the start, this man and the woman, they're going to go down. And their idea is to, have sex down at the bottom of the ship that's sunk in the just off the coast there in the Caribbean, right? So there's a lot of flesh on display. I suppose they are in the Caribbean, so they're going to have not as much clothes on, but their idea is to have sex down there, right? So as that's going on, you see a bit of flesh, you see some boobies, you see all the stuff that you want to see or you don't want to see, depending on the way that you think, right? But so the piranhas take care of them two first, and that's how the film kind of starts, and then it goes into the intro. The intro is very good. The music is very good. The guy that done the music in this movie was pretty fucking good, man. I like some of the music in it, and it's very much like James Bond, the intro to the movie. So, but the acting in this movie, the two people that were killed at the start, they were the worst actors in the movie. So don't get sidetracked by that they were that bad, because they were bad. They were bad. Their dialogue was put across very bad. Thank God they were under the water most of the time before they were killed, so they couldn't speak, because their delivery of the lines was not very good. So it does give the impression right at the start that this is really cheesy. And cheesy can work. Cheesy can work too in a movie. It doesn't have to always be, Hamlet or Shakespeare or dialogue from that kind of, from them kind of plays and stuff. It doesn't have to be crystallized dialogue. It can be cheesy sometimes, and the film can still be enjoyable. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be anything like that, So for some movies, it actually works pretty good when it is cheesy. And sometimes when the acting even is a little bit cheesy as well, because it can just lend a certain charm to it sometimes as well. So it doesn't have, films don't have to be, they don't have to cost a hell of a lot of money. They don't have to make a hell of a lot of money. It basically comes down to, do you like it when you're watching it? Right? Now, if I had a choice between this and the Avatar movies, I'll skip to that at the end. But as the film goes on, Lance Henriksen is in this movie. I think it was the first time that him and James Cameron done a film together. So it basically follows him. He's kind of like the policeman on the Caribbean island, and then he's got his ex-wife and his son are living there. And, it's a nice little story. It goes along pretty good. The characters are pretty good. It doesn't, it flows pretty good, the movie. All right. And like I said, some of the music is very, very good. Now, James Cameron apparently had trouble when he was making this movie. He wasn't allowed into the editing suite, and he was asked to leave, and there was loads of things going on. And I think the director had this scam where he would get people to start the movie or nearly direct all the movie and then fire them for tax reasons or something. There was some sort of scam going on, so inside the movie world, there's a lot of, I'd say that there's a hell of a lot of corruption and money laundering and a lot of stuff like that. So, but even though he has his name on the film as the director, and he himself has kind of like stepped away from the movie. He doesn't like talking about it. Even if you see he did an interview with Michael Biehn on his channel, Just Fooling Around or Just Fooling About, him and James Cameron did a talk together, which was an interesting talk. And you could tell that James Cameron really didn't want to talk about this fucking movie. He still is pissed off with a lot of it and all that kind of stuff. He just wants to just put it out of his mind, which is fine. But at the same time, I don't understand completely why, because I didn't dislike the film at all. I thought it was cheesy. The dialogue was bad. The acting wasn't great. Some of the effects weren't great. You could tell that they were just like mechanical flying fish and loads of scenes. But as the movie as a whole, I didn't dislike it. I thought that it was actually pretty good, pretty charming in loads of ways, and definitely watchable, funny, and I didn't have a problem watching it at all. I wanted to watch it. I got like 50 minutes through the movie, put pause. I was talking to my daughter for a while, and then I unpaused it, then watched the rest of it. And I was looking forward to getting back to it after talking with my daughter for a bit. So I didn't dislike the movie at all. It wasn't as if I don't want to watch the end of it. So it was a movie that was not that bad. And some of the highlights in the movie were pretty good. I thought Lance Henriksen was very good in it. I thought that it was paced out very good. I thought that it wasn't boring. I thought that you could connect on with some of the characters. You know, the young kid was very good in it. You know, and it wasn't a bad movie at all. I wouldn't call this a bad movie at all. I would call it a movie that is definitely cheesy, but it kind of lends to the charm of it as well in some ways. I don't know what the problem is with this movie that it gets such a bad rap, because I kind of liked it as well. If I had to sit down and watch Fire and Ash or Piranha 2 Flying Killers or The Spawning, I'd watch Piranha 2. I wouldn't want to be watching Fire and Ash again. I'm not a fan of the Avatar movies at all. It always feels to me, whenever I watch their movies, that someone's beat me over the head because I'm alive. Oh, look, pardon me. Look, you're eating meat, and like, what are you doing to the earth? And everything, like, to make me feel guilty. It's like being beaten over the head. It's just a movie, dude. It's just a movie. The small people in the world are not causing any problems. It's these big corporations and these big industrialists and these people that control the media. They're the ones that are causing all the trouble. I ain't causing the trouble having some pasta at night. So, as a whole, I thought the movie was good. I thought it was good. I don't know why it got such a bad rap. Some of the effects in it, like I said, are not great. There's one scene in the movie where Lance Henriksen jumps out of the helicopter into the ocean, and there's no one flying the helicopter, and then the helicopter spins around and goes down into the ocean. Now you can tell with that shot that it's a model helicopter, and the reason why it explodes when it hits the ocean, because it wouldn't do that. It would just go into the ocean, and the propellers would get, they'd stop the propellers, they'd flip up the ocean, but it explodes when it hits the water, which is no reason why it would do that. But I think they had to do that because it would have been so obvious then that it was a model helicopter. So that was like a bad, cheesy special effects shot, which it could have been done way better. But at the same time, it didn't ruin the film. It didn't ruin the film. The ending was pretty good. I liked the ending. I liked the characters in it. I thought the acting was a little bit cheesy, but so what? So what? I kind of enjoyed the movie. It was like a B movie. What was the studio that there was a studio that they all came out of. What was it called? It'll come back to me now in a minute. I forgot it. But yeah, Roger Corman films. And they're kind of like Roger Corman films. They're a bit cheesy. They don't, there's boobies on display everywhere, which is fine. Who doesn't like watching a few sets of boobies flying around, right? But like I said, you can learn a lot from some of these movies too. If you're interested in movies, you can learn a lot, because movies don't have to be polished completely. They don't have to be perfect in every area. They can be a bit cheesy. They can have crappy special effects. It comes down to something that's invisible in a movie, which makes it work. And for me, Piranha 2 had something invisible that was better than the Avatar movies. I'd rather watch Piranha 2, like I said.